Hi guys, Christina again. Hopefully my phone is gonna have this video sitting the right way. Don't know. Just out here gonna pick some greens for kind of a snack before work tonight. Because I had ramen earlier in the day and I just want to have something to eat before work, but I don't want it to be high calorie or anything. So here we are back plucking the greens. I am feeling mentally a bit better. I managed to accomplish some things. One of the things I started back on, which I had done before my surgery, was I started using Soylent again for one meal replacement a day. And I have a bunch of options for adding flavorings to it. I just buy the powder, and then I get there's sugar-free milk flavorings and stuff like that. And I use those with quite a bit of success. And I've been doing that for a few days, and all of a sudden it's like I'm just starting to feel a lot better again. So gonna keep doing that because that helped me start my weight on track, losing it before surgery, and I'm gonna go with something that works, and it also makes sure that I get some nutrition in besides. So because I am very inconsistent on eating. There's days that I will eat like crap, and then other days that I eat really healthy and keep my calories down and stuff. And it just, I figured at this point I kind of need to make sure I have my vitamins and stuff in, and that's one way to do it. And it also keeps my cholesterol down a bit. But again, like anything else that is plant-based, is you kind of have to watch the sugar content with it, because carbs are carbs. You know, they pretty much get processed the same way in the body as far as raising blood sugar. Some may be slower than others to raise the blood sugar, but they will still do it. And so that's a very real concern in my case. But at least if I have like the greens as a snack before work, I feel like I got something in my stomach then, and it's still pretty low calorie, and I need that too. I've had people try to tell me, well, you know, you shouldn't, counting calories is stupid and you shouldn't be doing that and all that. And, well, you know what? It works. I worked out today. I got a good workout in, and I didn't feel like I did yesterday. Yesterday I was so trashed again. It was just miserable. And I think, you know, in part is just my work schedule has been really tearing me a new one, but I'll take this good day while I have it. I am uploading right now a mirror of the meeting with the USDA. They had a 4-hour meeting with about dietary guidelines in the United States. And boy, what a mess there. I also downloaded Mike the Vegan's response to it, which of course he was saying that everybody, and this meeting was doctors and registered dietitians and nurse practitioners and community health nurses and bariatric doctors and obesity doctors and stuff like that. And Mike the Vegan's favorite reference, and the guy who was the most knowledgeable, was the New York City fireman who lost weight and fixed his diabetes on a high-carb, plant-based diet. So that's all Mike the Vegan could see. And everybody else is dumb except for anyone who is pushing Mike the Vegan's agenda. The problem that I foresee, and I will be doing a direct response to his video, don't get me wrong there, but the problem I foresee is that, you can't have somebody with active diabetes going high carb because you have a sensitivity to carbohydrates at that point. The insulin is not working. And some of his fans had said to me that I was wrong, that high carbs fix diabetes and all that. And it's like, no, I am talking about the immediate situation, maybe in the long run, but it needs to be done with a doctor if you're going to do it. And it needs to be tightly controlled because it can be fatal. I've seen patients come into ICU with blood sugars in the 800s. And guess what? A lot of them died. And again, I get people saying, well, it's the natural sugar you need and all of this. Look at my cucumbers. They're English cucumbers. But, it's going to reverse your diabetes and all this on the long term. And it's like, the problem is the immediate. And if I go way too high on the carbohydrates, I can have my blood sugars go absolutely crazy. And while, some people, once they lose weight, some of the neurological problems that they develop from having diabetes do get reversed to a point. But the damage is still done. And this includes damage to the eyes, damage to the brain. And trust me, I've seen older diabetics that are just, I hate to use this unprofessional term, but they end up absolutely nuts. Their personality is completely changed because there is brain damage. The brain is filled with nerves. High blood sugars will damage those nerves. And these people don't seem to understand that. Again, I'm not rallying on veganism. I mean, I'm trying not to eat as much meat because I have to watch my cholesterol too. That's why I'm out here picking plants, But they're pushing this thing as this is the cure-all to everything, and it just isn't. It can do more harm than good at the point that we're talking about with some of these patients. And that includes myself. I don't want to lose my eyesight. I don't want to lose all of that stuff. And what they don't realize is that everything is an acid-base balance, and everything is in the body is also a nutrient balance. You have to have certain ranges for your sodium. You need to be within certain ranges for your sugars, certain ranges for your protein levels, certain ranges for your fluid levels, for calcium, for magnesium. All of these things get tested for a reason. And that's because a lot of things, like even calcium and stuff, will affect how the heart functions and will affect the vascular system and affect kidney function and all of these things. So they're extremely important. And, people just don't realize this. And they really need to. Let's see, how badly are these chewed up? I think I got enough greens with the wild spinach today. Looks like it. Oh, here's another plant. I'm not even pruning the leaves off. I'm just taking scissors to the stems even, and just chopping everything up with the kitchen scissors and then boiling it all, and then I have it that way because it's just easier and still tastes good. It's still getting the fiber in the stems and everything. So this is one of my comfort foods. This is my favorite thing about summer, actually, because we would have it with some butter and some herbs, and have a boiled egg over top, or not a boiled egg, but a pan-fried egg, and it tastes so good. The only problem is, again, is you're dealing with a heck of a lot of oxalic acid, and so that can be an issue with the wild spinach. But I don't eat it every day because I have to let the plants grow in between. So I got plenty. That looks really good. I'm also going to check on what to do. I'm probably going to harvest some of these strawberry leaves and dry them to make tea. Doing teas with that will kind of, I hate the word detox, but there's points where it does help process some of the things out of the kidneys, because the kidneys, do filter out the whole body, and it also provides quite a bit of vitamin C and other things. So I'm researching more on the strawberry leaves yet, but they are edible. So a lot of people are like, well, don't throw your green tops away and stuff. And so I'm going to have to just remember to do that. Native Americans also used them for creating poultices. They help with blood pressure and wound healing, and there's plenty of tannins in them, so they make great wound healing stuff. But they're also a food, so I want to figure out how to use them. And let's see. Oh, that one tomato plant looks worse. It really got beat up. Yeah, that plant had really gotten damaged in our storms, and I wasn't sure if it was going to make it or not. This one I'd love to try. I may boil one of these leaves up and just try them. This is Solomon's seal, and the only thing with Solomon's seal is that it can lower blood pressure, but it's a Native American food, and I've been growing it, but I haven't tried it yet. The flowers are just beautiful, and so I'm going to boil some of this up and try it chopped up and see how it tastes. I'll do that separate from the other. So yeah, just got to water plants yet, and then I have to get my shoes on, and I like my being a little earthy and get out here in the garden with bare feet. I feel like I connect with nature that way. But I got to prune back raspberries tonight before I go in the house. I'm going to make some flatbreads with sweet potatoes and chickpea flour and teff. And I might put some dried onions and some dried vegetables in them, and then I have a flatbread that I can use for breakfast in the morning and stuff. I'm only taking tonight Soylent. Usually people have 2 scoops of it, which is about 400 calories, and then I'll add cocoa powder and stuff to it, but I only had the equivalent of 1 scoop last night, so I have the rest of it in there in the container. I'm going to finish that up tonight and probably bring some celery sticks again like I did last night for work, and that was pretty satisfying. But I could also turn around and fry up. I have some duck eggs left. I could fry up one of those and then have some lettuce and stuff in one of these wraps, and that'll still be a decent calorie control, and then eat when I get home in the morning, and we'll go from there. So yeah, I've just been kind of rambling right now. Nice having you guys in the garden with me. There was not too much going on. Still doing some jewelry work. Planning on listing some really pretty bracelets on Etsy yet. And after Pagan Pride, I'm going to open up my Amazon store too. Because Etsy's being kind of stinky towards the sellers lately. But I also need a bigger audience for my handmade goods, so it will be a handmade store on Amazon, not this influencer stuff. And but I can only do like a couple bracelets a night, and then my wrists start hurting really bad from manipulating the pliers. But I don't want to lose control of my hands either, you know. And depending on what they find is wrong with me on August 30th, you know, there's some disorders that would make my mobility decrease a lot more than other ones. So don't know what that's going to be yet. And today on my scale I was at 215, so that's 2 pounds heavier than the doctor's office. So even with the prednisone, right now I'm maintaining my weight, which is, I'm pretty happy, because I hadn't had prednisone since I was in my 20s, and boy, did I gain weight. I gained a lot of weight. And that's part of my problem right now, is it not only makes you bloat, you build up, you get swollen, according to ALR, but you also, some people eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. And unfortunately, right now I am hungry. I am hungry constantly. And of course I didn't eat very super well this morning. I mean, I had broccoli and cauliflower with the ramen, and then I had shrimp in there, and that tasted really, really good. And I had a few slices of cheese in there, and that just tasted phenomenal this morning. But not, you know, I probably could have done brown rice or something else in there, but it's what I was hungry for, so I'm at least controlling what I intake, but doggone it. Right now, I could probably tear into a huge pan of lasagna or a huge thing of pizza or something. I want pizza so bad right now. It's not even funny. I want all the fatty, naughty, bad things right at this point. And I can't eat like that, you know, but doggone it. And the thing is it's been so doggone hard. I want, you know, I'm trying desperately to keep myself around 1,400 calories, and I'm ending up eating 16 to 18. And I'm so doggone hungry. So at least today I got a good 40-minute workout in on my elliptical, and then I was cleaning the kitchen, so there's some calories burned. And I'm not doing heavy gardening today, but I'm walking around, I'm moving, you know. That's more than our girl does, leaving her carts in the middle of the parking lot, you know. But it's just disgusting. This part of trying to lose weight is so damn hard. One of my family members told me, you know, I successfully did 100 days, and it's like as soon as I tried to start the second 100 days, people go through it where it's like all of a sudden they're just at the point of rebellion, and their body is at rebellion because it's things that they want, because they're trying to change the lifestyle, you know, not necessarily dieting, but try to completely change eating habits and change how you do things. And I think I'm at that protest stage. And I don't remember if I'm like at day 14 or something right now on my second 100-day challenge, but this one's a lot harder than the first. But outside, I'm going to keep doing this 100-day challenge. Will end October 31st. And then I do the next one. And I'm going to try to have success where ALR is not. And part of my 100-day challenge, of course, is to try and get my medical issues out of the way, which again, ALR is not. And I know the chronic pain is contributing to my depression. And until I can address that, it's a thing. I'm going to be down. And I realized that. We talked about it, my doctor and I, and it's like, he doesn't think, because generally I'm a positive person. I'm very active. I'm very upbeat. But when you're dealing with chronic pain, that changes things. That changes a lot. And I've been dealing with this for a long time. I felt better once I had the hysterectomy, but this other issue comes up, and that starts to seriously change everything. So, and probably once I can figure out what's going on, hopefully they're not going to put me on too strong a medication that's going to wait me out to beat all. It depends on if they stick me on anti-inflammatories, if they stick me on steroids, if they put me on immune suppressants. I just don't know yet. And all of those things have side effects. So it's like, okay, what's going to be worse? Is living with the chronic pain or dealing with the side effects? I'm going to have to make that choice, depending on what it is. And so the reality of it, I think, kind of hits me, and then it goes away again, because it's like, well, I'm just going to live as I live right now. I'm going to deal one day at a time at this point. And that's probably the healthiest attitude I can have right now, but it's still super frustrating. And hubby today, his MS pain was just really, really bad when he got home this morning. So he had to take his strong MS medicine for pain. And so he won't be working tonight. But I have to pick up the slack here and there, and that's just the way it is. That's life. That's adulting. Again, I'd like to be able to shut off the adulting for a little while. I'm tired of adulting. But I think right now, working out right away when I got up helped, and being out here is helping, and feeling like I'm accomplishing things before going to work is definitely going to help some. Oh, that spider can stay over there. There he goes. I don't do well with spiders. I've said before, they're one of my totem animals. And there's nothing like making the tribal elders laugh. I was right near his web too. Oh, that's just creepy. Where is he? There he is. I was right near his web, standing over there. Now that just squidges me out bad. See if I can zoom in on him. Nothing like having Ojibwe elders laugh at you when you say, yeah, I'm terrified of my totem animal. I've had other pagans tell me that that's, being a little leery of my own internal darkness. That, that there's parts of ourselves that we're not comfortable with. The reality of human nature sometimes. And so there could be part of that too, but I know it's also a learned fear. for me. Where is he? I don't want to get any closer. I keep losing it. Okay, I lost it a long time ago, people. What was not funny was at Pagan Pride last year, we managed to have a spider on my face painting tent. And I was getting ready to face paint. And these kids witnessed me completely and utterly lose it because there was this huge spider, absolutely huge, on the outside of my tent. And I just completely freaked out. I mean, full-blown PTSD style freaking out. And it is really amazing, though, when kids see an adult respond to fear. And the kids handled it better than I did. But the spider kept coming back to my tent. And it was a globe spider, and they are pretty, but, you know, for me to turn around and suddenly see that thing, see the shadow of it through the tent wall, and I was just freaking out, and it kept coming back to the same spot after everybody moved the darn thing. And the kids around me were just really comforting and really, really amazing, because, you know, they know what that is, you know, they know what that kind of fear is. And sometimes us adults, we don't realize that we can be afraid of things to that extent. And especially with a lot of things that I've been through, some of my phobias will turn into full-blown PTSD reactions. And that's just the nature of what I've got going. And the last time a patient assaulted me, I don't know how I drove home. I probably shouldn't have. It was that bad. I was completely so freaked out I never went back to that house. I mean, that's the kind of reaction I get. And these kids at Pagan Pride were just wonderful. And of course there was adults, you know, there too, and everybody was hugging me, and we all, you know, figured that there was a message from my totem, from Grandmother Spider, from the world builder, so to speak, that, or Arachnia, for me to pay heed to, that kept happening. But it still is not comfortable in any way, shape, or form. So I hope that does not happen again this year. That would not be funny. I am looking forward to Pagan Pride. I have my son and his girlfriend are coming to help, and my best friend's daughter. You may have seen her in my live streams, Amanda Hoffman. She is my face painting trainee. I have an apprentice. I love it. And I got to sit down and be able to work with her too on just teaching painting and stuff, and teaching techniques. But she's doing pretty good. So I'm looking forward to the fun of it. And then we're going to have our sale booth there too, next to the face painting booth. And then I came up with project ideas too for the children's booth, but hopefully I can get enough supplies in before September to do that. Using recycled materials to make rattles and stuff, you know. But yeah, it should be fun. It's a nice break. And then 2 weeks later, we're going to do the Minnesota Renaissance Festival, and that's all we're doing this year, because we don't know how hubby's going to handle walking at the festival. We may have to, one of the family members has a mobility scooter, and we may have to take that with. We'll see. These are my potatoes. They were from a bag of organic potatoes at Walmart that already. If you buy like red potatoes and stuff that do not form eyes, that's because they've been sprayed to prevent forming eyes. And if you're wanting to plant and can't get seedling potatoes, your best bet is to grab a bag of organics, because those are not sprayed to prevent that. I was disappointed. I would have loved to have had red potatoes, but these are just white ones. But yeah, they sprouted eyes within a week, and I cut them up and I put compost from my composting bin down, and then we put a couple bags of dirt over top, and I put them in, and squirrels pulled out a whole bunch. There was more over here. The squirrels grabbed the potatoes and just dug them out and ate them, but a lot of them made it. So I have potato plants. My plan next year is to raise this bed up higher, to get some more stone edges around it and fill it in with more dirt and compost, and then keep this as a potato bed and have it be raised, just because I think it'll look pretty with all the stone. But yeah, they're doing pretty well. I gotta look up though when they're ready to harvest. So I don't know. This is my first foray into the potato. One of the channels I've been watching is Michigan Gardener, and they've usually got some pretty good advice, and it's pretty much, in the climate that I'm living in, so they're fairly close. So I don't pay much attention to gardeners that have channels from the south, because that just doesn't help in Minnesota. They got plants that I wish I could have, and then I just get jealous, and it's like nothing I can do about it. I don't have a greenhouse, I wish I did. Not a big yard though. And if we put up a greenhouse, it probably would have to stay if we ever moved out. So, been here 5 years already. I don't know when we're gonna be moving, if anytime soon. The house is really big for the two of us is the problem. But our landlord is fantastic. And so one of my winter projects after Pagan Pride and after the Renaissance is I have to go and start going through our things that we have in storage down in the basement and just organize some more and get rid of more stuff. I've done that before, and that's a long-term project, so I just do a little bit here and a little bit there, and unfortunately right now it's very hard to dust, it's very hard to clean. Of course, we have the 2 extra kittens now, so all of our collection of glassware has to be put in boxes for a while. But all of that is itemized and photographed and insured. And so, yeah, some of our collections are very, very serious. Unlike, people who do any sort of hoarding or anything. I'm sorry, the people who've called me hoarders, it's a hoarder still just bugs the crap out of me. We have everything on a computer. We've got, all of our valuable stuff is insured and listed and stuff like that. So it's a little bit past, being a hoarder, so to speak. This looks like this is getting pretty good. Little fresh blueberry, a new blueberry plant from Walmart. It's hanging in there. Oh, I have lots of bees around the raspberry bushes too. I think the raspberries are done for the year. Looks like it. Boy, this needs some pruning. Oh my gosh. That might be not tonight. That might be Tuesday, because I got some cooking to do. These flowers here, I still don't know what ones are edible, but boy, they bring the bees. And I have sunflowers in the front that are bringing the bees. I'm happy. It's making the bees happy. That's good, because we've got some people who have several beehives for honeybees out. So it's like, if I can contribute to that, even though I don't get any of the honey, you know, but at least we're supporting them. And since I don't spray anything in my garden, this is as healthy as it's going to get, I think. But I really should research these plants, what ones are edible. They're all from edible flower mix from Germany, so I have no clue. And I'm finding the heat right now is feeling really, really good. It's just a nice evening out. So thank you guys for being with me while I'm plucking away and while I'm watering and stuff like that. Yeah, we have stuff. Right there is, there's sawdust in there, or yeah, sawdust. And we let that cure, and then anytime we put down like blueberries or any sort of plants like that, we put that in the hole first, because it helps increase the acidity of the soil, and they grow a lot better. And of course, these are containers. This is a recycling container I gotta clean. Those were supposed to be for planting, but I'm gonna have to put them back in the garage. And that one I have to clean out and bring back in the house. So yeah, and I've got some wood scraps from roots planned for carving. Gotta get the car out of the garage, and then I can access my woodworking equipment again and start carving again, which I'm really excited. So anyway, you guys have a great night. Thank you for joining me in my garden, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night. Blessed be everyone.